She lands at 20 knots or less.
Good morning from Stellenbosch Airfield. I'm here with Duncan, and today we're going to have a chat about his aeroplane.
The Zlin Savage Shock Cub. She's built in the Czech Republic, now called Czechia. It's very much an ultralight. Maximum takeoff weight is 680 kilograms. So, but it's not built for going anywhere fast. She cruises at 69 knots and she lands at 20 knots or less. I try not to push the envelope, but if the wind's blowing at 20 knots, you can land her pretty much in the hover. These large tires and the shock absorbers, that's where the shock name comes from. They suck up anything, and she's built mainly for landing off paved surfaces. In the 9 years that I've had her, I've only ever landed on paved surfaces 3 times. Once to see what it was like, and twice because the airport that I was landing at insisted that we couldn't land on the grass. At Stellenbosch here, the club is very good to me. They allow me to land on the grass, and that it saves the tires substantially, and it makes my landings look a bit better. What really gives this aircraft its unique flying abilities is these slats. These balls are in to just stop it bouncing, but they deploy themselves. There's 2 per wing. The original model had 3, but they decided they only needed 2, and they stop the aircraft stalling. I wouldn't say that she can't stall, but I've tried some upper air work and she just does not stall. She just flies through it. I'll deploy the trailing edge flaps. They're huge. They're double slotted. Like most aircraft, even large aircraft, the first 2 notches are give you a lot of lift, and the last notch is a lot of drag. But they also allow the aircraft to operate very safely at or around about 20 knots, which is quite remarkable.
It's pretty cool that it has a double slotted flap.
Yeah.
So not a lot of light aircraft have that. It's pretty insane.
No, it is. I'm told you're not allowed to call it a slotted Fowler flap. It's not a Fowler flap because a Fowler flap extends. This doesn't extend, she just drops. This has got the full kit as well. She's even got vortex generators to keep the airflow going in the slot. I mean, this aircraft's covered in vortex generators, which is it really keeps the boundary layer energized even at a low speed. One of the issues that I've had with this aircraft is that the ailerons go to full span, which is a problem because she doesn't like crosswinds at all. And if a wing does come close to the ground, there's no protection for the wingtip. So what I'm trying to have made is a carbon fiber training skid here, and if the one wing does come close to the ground, that'll just knock it back into the air because there's no protection for the aileron in the event of one wing getting close to the ground. He does not like crosswinds, and that's the beauty of Stellenbosch here, is that with the low approach speed, low landing speed, and me having the ability to be able to land on the grass, like in the First World War, aircraft landed into wind. Airfields were around, and she likes to land into wind. She does not like a crosswind. She's powered with by a 125 horsepower Rotax 914, normally 115 horsepower, but got an ECU chip for an extra 10 horsepower. Really capable little engine, turbocharged. And with the engine mapping set as it is, I get 45 inches of boost with max throttle, which is a lot of power from a little power plant like this. She's extremely fuel economical as well. She runs on MoGas, 95 octane, and she burns about 21 liters an hour. The propeller is a Kiev prop from the Ukraine. It's a fixed pitch, ground adjustable. I've got her set at the sweet spot, so she gives me a good oomph and grunt on takeoff, and also gives me a reasonable cruise speed. As I said, the cruise speed is around about 69 knots.
And takeoff distance, what sort of takeoff distance are you getting?
In calm winds, probably about 200 feet, and calm wind landing is about 150 feet.
That's like nothing.
Yeah. I flew Boeings and Airbuses in the airlines, and I used to fly a Boeing business jet for a family who own it. And when I retired, they heard that I'd retired, and they asked me if I'd come back. So I fly that aircraft for them on my retirement. It only flies about once a month, so it's American registered and has a hangar in London. And I live in beautiful South Africa, and go back when it needs to move them from one place to another.
So how's flying, going from a Boeing to something like this, which is on the opposite end of the spectrum? What's that like?
It's like the analogy between riding a motorbike and a car on a road. It's in the same sky, but you use completely different techniques. I could never ever use any of the techniques that I use on this aircraft when I'm flying a jet. So it's completely, there is very little similarity. So a jet, you fly with procedures and to the numbers, whereas an aircraft like this, you're flying by the seat of your pants. And the Boeing's not affected by wind at all. Well, not at all, but it's hardly affected. You can land a Boeing in a 25 knot crosswind. I mean, you couldn't land this thing in a 10 knot crosswind. So it's completely different. This is a lot riskier. You've got to have your, excuse my language, finger way more out in this than in a Boeing. But it's a lot of fun. And
tell me about the wheels. You're running the Deza. These are the big Dezas.
These are the Deza Aero Classics. It looks like an Alaskan bush wheel, but it's about half the price. They wear less than the Alaskan bush wheels, and they are just, I couldn't be happier. She's running it at 9 psi now pressure. She's they're tubeless, and I mean, I've had them 9 years, and there's just nowhere. A lot of that has to do with the fact that I'm landing on grass and unpaved surfaces at all times. The tail wheel is a Matco. It's beautiful. It sucks up a lot. We've got the shock absorber on the tail as well, so I can land with the tail first if I need to. And this tail wheel is fantastic. On the tail wheel, that's what makes this aircraft so feisty, is that I have no link between. It's like a shopping trolley. I have no link between my controls and this tail wheel, and all I've got for directional control on the ground is differential brakes. So that's what makes it a bit of a challenge for ground maneuvering, is just differential brakes on the ground. Yeah. Also, if I land on a slope, that's another big consideration that I have. That the tail heads down slope, so I've got to be really careful to maintain her. If I've got a cross slope, the tail wants to go down slope almost immediately.
Interesting.
One of the only thing that I would like on this aircraft, but I'm probably not going to do it. I've got it. I've just never installed it. Is a park brake, and I would have thought when I was ordering the aircraft and designing it, I thought, why would you want a park brake on an airplane like this? But it you know, if you land off field and you land on a bit of a slope and you want to get out, you can't, because you'll roll down the hill. So it would be nice to trap the pressure in the brakes, hold that pressure with the park brake. But I probably won't do it, mainly because I'm concerned that I might try one day to take off with the park brake on.
Got it, understood. What sort of instruments do you have in?
Very basic, Gareth. The EFIS, I spec'd, it's made by MGL. They're based in Somerset West. It's nice to have them for support, but I really never ever needed their support. So everything's on one instrument. I've got a backup airspeed indicator, which I do refer to. It's in knots. When I ordered the aircraft, I spec'd it to be in kilometers an hour because I needed more graduation at lower speeds. But the manufacturer delivered in knots, and I've got used to it. I've got MGL radio as well, and a Trig transponder, Mode C transponder. Apart from that, she's standard. I've got no fuel gauges. The fuel gauge is pretty standard for this kind of aircraft, or in the wing, just a visible plastic pipe. Seen me before, but this is the flap control. She's finger light now. I can select any notch, but in the air, the final notch is quite a pull from the aerodynamic loads. Okay,
and you've got quite the suspension there, so can you tell us more about the suspension?
Yeah, it's pretty standard, spec by Zlin. It's made, the shocks are made by a company in California called Shock Monster. They're very light. I've had them off for servicing, and they look sturdy and bulky, but you can hold this whole shock absorber with a finger or two. Quite a high internal pressure. She's 27 bar in internal pressure. I've got that dialed down a little bit, that she's got a little bit more give. You can see, I mean, she can suck up the landing, but it's important, and I know other owner operators, it's so important to have the same pressure on both sides, otherwise you get the one wing dragging. I've just got the one caliper here. You can get the two calipers, but I don't know. I think I prefer just the one caliper, because I think if you had a dual caliper, there'd be more danger of you ending up on your nose.
Sure. And then you've got some really cool tie-downs here.
Well, I don't know if they're cool, but they're pretty practical, apart from when you're in the Karoo, because then it's very difficult to bore them into the ground. But it's essential. It's absolutely essential to have this aircraft tied down anytime that you're away from her, because she's so light. The wings want to go and fly. She'll go fly on her own without your approval or consent if she's not tied down.
Got it. Last question. Why did you buy the airplane?
To have fun, and I've had a huge amount of fun for the last 9 years.
We've been flying together, and I mean, she looks like she flies like an absolute dream.
She does, but yeah, just don't be in a hurry. One thing I haven't mentioned is I took slightly bigger fuel tanks in this aircraft. She can carry 110 litres, which gives me 5.5 hours of endurance. Obviously, I can't have those full if I'm carrying any passenger, but I can fill the tanks and fly for at least 5 hours if you're transiting from any specific distance, which is 69 knots. Is that not that far?
Sure, got it. So it's a Zlin
Savage Shock Cub.
Okay, a lot of S's.
And in the US, they're not allowed to use the word cub, so in the US, it's called an Outback.
Okay, got it. So thanks for showing us around, and yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks a lot.